Hi, I'm Margaret, and today's recipe is one of those that evolved as I was baking it. Sometimes I get an idea into my head and I think I'll give that a go. I don't plan it, I just go ahead and start baking, not really knowing how it's going to turn out. Now, my first thought was making brandy snaps. I've not made these for years, but I wanted to make them a little bit more interesting than just the round brandy snap. So my first thought was, let's make a cone out of them. So first, I made some using baking paper. And to keep them together, I made a couple of snips and folded the centrepiece inwards. There. Now that should fit on a proper ice cream cone and give me something to wrap the brandy snap around. And now for the brandy snaps themselves. Now, brandy snaps don't contain brandy. It's possible that the name came from the word branded, meaning burnt. They do contain a lot of sugar and become beautifully dark and caramelised in the oven. Now I've sifted the flour into the melted ingredients and giving it a really good mix. A whisk is useful here. We want this to be really nice and smooth. They do spread quite a bit in the oven, so I'm just going to put a tablespoonful and just pop 2 on a tray. I've left them to cool for about 30 seconds before rolling them up. They need to be just the right consistency. It's a bit tricky, but a spatula does help. Then onto the baking tray to cool. The ice cream cone helps to keep them solid so they don't sink. It turned out that these little baking paper cones were really useful because I decided to make some little cake pieces to put into the bottom of the cone. I thought that maybe cream might be too much because these cones were quite big. So let's take the paper off and see how they turned out. Yes, I think that'll do. So I think it's time to build these up. First the brandy snap cone. I felt that another flavour was needed here, so I decided to melt some chocolate and to brush the cake with it. This would also help the cake to stick into the cone properly. There needed to be room for the cream on top, so I cut a little slice off the top of each. This was the perfect time to add a little sugar syrup. Next it was time to make the cream, and I thought I'd keep this simple and just whip up the cream with a little bit of vanilla extract. I think these will be sweet enough without any added sugar here. I'm piping the cream with a star nozzle to make it look like one of those ice creams you get at the seaside. And then to continue this theme, a little bit of flake pushed into the top will make it more authentic. And I don't know about you, but I never have one of these 99 ice creams without raspberry sauce. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care and I'll catch you real soon.